What's up guys, today we're going to be going over this flying 3D object transition. I think it's an effect that's going to get more and more popular because it looks amazing and it's actually not so difficult to do. So make sure to stay until the end if you want to learn all of that. Also, before we start, I need to let you know that I just dropped my new pack, New Wave Effects. New Wave Effects allows you to get those grungy transitions, clean flash transitions, basically all of the effects you need to emulate the new wave aesthetic that you're going to see from artists in the latest underground scene. K-Suave, Summers, Laserdimp, even Che. They're really made for your edits to stand out. So if that interests you, it'll be available in the description with a special discount just for watching this video, just as a way to thank you for supporting the channel. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first thing we need to do in order to get our effect is, of course, getting our assets. So we need a 3D object. So in this video, I'm actually going to use Noah's brand new 3D object pack. It has a bunch of 3D models that you can just insert in After Effects because since the latest update, we can use 3D objects in After Effects, manipulate them. That's what's great. So we have all of these over here. The models are all really fire. That's what I love about this pack. They're extremely high quality compared to maybe like the ones that you're gonna get on free sites. But about those free sites, if you're not willing to make the investment today, that's an extremely good way to just get some free assets as well. You can go to sites like Sketchfab. So we can go there, and let's say you want anything, let's say like a skull, you can get one of these. But as I said, I'm going to use Asim's new pack. It'll be available in the description with a discount for $5 off if you want to get that. Basically, now we're going to import the 3D asset that we want. So one I like very much, it really depends on the context. I think I'm going to use this Air Jordan one. It's really fire. So what you want to do is go to there, go to the OBJ file, and now you can literally just drag it into your project window. So now you have it right there. So basically what you need is just two separate clips. As you can see, we have this and then it transitions to this. So we're gonna make a seamless transition with our 3D object. So all we need to do is import this Air Jordan file right here. And as you can see, you're gonna get this window. All we need to do is make comp size. So that way it's going to reduce its size. We don't need it to be too big. So then we can press on OK. And then we're going to press A and we're going to adjust the anchor point so that it's in the middle. There we go, something like this. And now we're going to get to animate it. The first step to animating it, we're going to animate the scale. So at the beginning, let's make it 0. And let's keyframe the stopwatch right here, 0%. In the middle between the two clips, let's make it, let's say this big. And then we're also going to animate the rotation, a bunch of things as well. So let's press R. We're going to get all of our rotation properties. We're going to make it turn around just like this. Boom. So in the beginning, let's put it at something like 180. Keyframe it in the middle, make it 0. We're actually going to make it minus 56 so that it's on the side. So now we would get something like this, which looks extremely shitty. That is because we need to smooth. That is because we need to smooth. That is because we need to make the keyframe smoother, make the animation smoother. I think I'm actually going to give the clip a bit more time. Let's stretch that out. Okay, that's better. Let's grab these two right here and let's press on F9 to ease them. So now we're gonna have this. Still not what we want. We're gonna make a kind of curve where it pops in really fast at the beginning and then it slows down. So let's select our two keyframes for the scale. Let's go into the graph editor and then you can just copy my graph. Let's make it peak in velocity in the beginning. Press shift click to make it like this. So now it's gonna come in smoother, but it still looks bad because we didn't do the same for the rotation. So let's do the same for the rotation. Let's go into the graph editor. And now as you can see, it's reversed, but you can still do the same principle, make it go down fast at the beginning. There you go, something like this. So now as you can see, it's a lot cleaner. Now the next step is making it leave the screen. So in order to do that, we're going to do right click, new null object. Let's make it 3D. We're going to link our 3D object with this feature right here. We're going to link it to the null. That way, when we move the null and we manipulate it, it also moves the Air Jordan, which we want. So in the middle here, we're going to animate the position. Before we do that, let's do right click, separate dimensions. That way we can just move one. Let's keyframe the position right here and a bit further down, we're gonna make it leave the screen like that. So now we're gonna have this. It's very bad and wonky. We're gonna fix that. Let's ease the keyframes with F9 again. Let's go into the graph editor. And now we're gonna make it progressively leave the screen. So we're gonna do the opposite of what we did earlier. Earlier, we did a curve that was fast at first and then it slowed down. Now we're gonna do it slow at first and then fast. Okay, hope that didn't look too weird. the curve, let's just make it like this. Boom. It can be a bit less intense. We can do it like this. Yeah, that's good. We can actually put the keyframes a bit later so that when it comes in, it transitions. I think it's gonna make the transition a lot smoother, as you can see. There we go. So now we're missing two things. So now we have three things that are missing that are kind of messing up the clip, not really pushing it to its full potential. The first one is that there's no motion blur. The second one is that we need to randomize the movement a bit more in the 3D object. So I'm going to show you how to do that using expressions. And we're also going to create a depth of field effect with the background. So we're going to play with the background, put a blur to it. So we're going to start by randomizing the object's movements. Press R on the rotation right here. And in X rotation, what we're going to do is Alt click or Option click if you're on Mac, if I'm not mistaken, on the stopwatch. And then we're going to type wiggle, parentheses, 2,8. So it's gonna move twice every second and by 8 pixels. So it's gonna wiggle. Copy that as well before we confirm it. Come and see. And let's paste it on the other ones. Alt click, wiggle, Z rotation, alt click, wiggle. There we go. You're gonna get a slight movement. You're gonna get a slight movement, which gives it a more natural feel for sure. That's what's really gonna sell the effect, in my opinion. Now we're gonna add some motion blur to our effect. So one thing that's weird with the 3D objects, unfortunately, is when you activate the motion blur, it's not gonna have any motion blur on its own. So for now, I hope there's an update for that, but all that we can do for now is we're gonna take the null and the object, right click, pre-compose them. Let's call it shoe. Make sure that this is selected. And then when it's done, we can just delete that part right here. So now we're gonna go into effects and presets and type pixel motion blur. So now as you can see, it's gonna make it much smoother. So now as you can see, the effect looks much nicer with some motion blur on. And what I love about the 3D feature in After Effects is this is a game changer, is that you can literally just swap 3D objects if you want. So let me show you how. Let's say I go back in Asif Noag's new 3D object pack and I grab whichever one I want. Let's say like stack of money. We can go to the GLB, import it. So we're gonna first import it into the composition. Let's make sure that it's the comp size. Now that that's done, we can go back into the shoe composition. With this selected, a really easy way to do this, we can just import it in here. Let's change the rotation for what we want. Let's say we want it to look like this, right? Something like this. Then you can link it to the OBJ and now it's gonna follow its movement. You can have that animation with whichever object you want, which is really why it's a game changer. You literally just need to animate once. That's why I think it's really worth it. That's why I love using ISPack as well. Again, it's in the description. So now you can just turn off that layer if you want the other one. Now the last step is just adjusting the background. We're gonna do that by creating a new adjustment layer in between the two clips. So we're gonna create a kind of blur to simulate a depth of field effect between the two clips. So let's drag in the effect Gaussian blur. Let's keyframe it when it starts to come in. And in the middle right here, we're gonna make it blurry, something like this. We can keyframe this. And then when it goes away, put it back to 0. So that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and if it brought you any value, please consider subscribing and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.